Welcome everyone to today's event where we will be talking about Coloreel's technology, mostly from a production point of view and from a producer point of view. My name is Henrik Linder. I'm today's host, and together with me here I have Mats Sjögren. Welcome, Mats.
Thanks, Henrik.
Can you tell us a little bit about your background and your position at Coloreel?
Yes. I'm head of sales here at Coloreel, and I've been a part of the company for about 1.5 years now. Then I have about 20 years of experience in sales and in marketing.
Okay.
Most of my time I've spent with building a distributor network, both nationally and internationally. So that's my main purpose here. But I also has a little bit of a background in technical sales.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You're welcome. Most welcome, Mats. Can you describe the Coloreel technology and the cornerstones of the technology as such?
Yeah.
In your own words.
To break it down just a little bit, I always say that we have about 4 cornerstones that we're working with. The first one is the design freedom. You can create things with the Coloreel technique that hasn't been possible before. And it's pretty much equal to DTG printing.
Okay.
And but it's much more sustainable. It's not comparable to DTG printing in that way. Cornerstone number 2, it's all about the effects, the design effects that we can create. We can create gradients, and we can create a 3-dimensional pattern that is really vibrant, and it hasn't been able to do that before. So that's, I would say that's one of the most fantastic things. It's really like a DTG printing.
Okay.
But the sustainability is much, much higher.
Okay.
So, and if we go further and we talk about cornerstone number 3 and cornerstone number 4, I would say it's all about the really high quality embroidery that we can create. It has a smooth, really smooth back, which if you have it to the skin on your body, it's really comfortable.
Okay.
If we compare it to traditional embroidery.
Okay.
And then we have production effects that we can produce our embroideries in a much higher speed than a traditional tempo.
Okay.
And that's all about that we don't have any cuts and trims.
Okay.
So our embroidery gets done a lot faster.
So production efficiency in terms of shorter cycle times and so forth.
Exactly.
Oh, interesting. You have a video today we will be watching just briefly in order to introduce how your technology looks like in a real production environment.
The Coloreel unit saves us a lot of transition time between motifs and in motifs that have lots of color changes and lots of different colors. So it's a big technical advantage. It also gives a big quality improvement because we can avoid stop stitches and parts in the embroidery where the machines won't operate.
Interesting to see your multi-head installation in a real production environment. So can you, Mats, guide us through a little bit your instant thread coloring technology and what it gives me as a producer?
Yeah, I will try to simplify this just a little bit because it's all about printing colors on a thread, on an embroidered thread, if we're going to be exact.
Mm.
And that what gives us all the possibilities to make color changes and create shades, for example, on the thread.
Okay.
We use CMYK, so everything that you can actually print on a paper or on a ordinary textile, we can print on a thread.
Oh, very interesting. So pretty much digital print
on a thread.
On a thread.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I will take you through this unit just a little bit. The unit is actually built in 5 modules. At the back of the unit, we have the thread, and when it enters the unit, we have the first module that's called entry feeder. There, where we actually work with a color placement on the thread, and we give the thread a little bit help of driving itself through the unit. Then we go to the next module, which is the print engine, and that's really the heart of this module, of this machine. There where all the magic happens. There we put the color on the thread. Okay, so then we move on to the third module, which is the fixation module. It's where we fixate the color on the thread, so we make it fully washable, for example. The next module is our washing unit, where we take away some rests of color, for example. And then we move on to the last module in the unit, and that's the exit feeder and the lubrication. In this stage, we put a little bit lubrication on the thread, so it runs smoother through the embroidery machine.
Thank you, Mats. Very interesting explanation, and interesting to see your technology in this exploded view as well.
It's quite simple, but
not at the same time. Exactly. So an area of a lot of interest in traditional embroidery is, of course, threads and thread quality. So are you using standard threads, or is it a special thread that you use with your technology?
It's a special thread that is manufactured for us. So it really maximized the possibility to print our colors on the thread.
Okay.
But it's comparable to any normal thread. It's classified like ISO and Eco standard.
Okay.
And it meets all those requirements about washing up to 60 degrees and sun bleach and all of that.
The dry cleaning
And the
tests
dry
and
cleaning,
so forth.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's very good. And it's very comparable to...
It's really comparable.
To high quality
Yeah.
threads then. Okay. I understand the technology a little bit like a hybrid technology in between traditional embroidery manufacturing and digital print. So
Exactly.
from a quality point of view, if you compare it to traditional embroidery, what would you say is the big differences or the biggest benefits with Coloreel technology?
I would say it's a really high quality embroidery that we create. And like I mentioned before, it's a really, really smooth back.
Mm.
So it's really nice to have direct on the skin.
Okay.
Which make it perfect on clothes, for example.
Okay.
So it's fully comparable with any other embroidery quality-wise,
Okay.
but with a much smoother back.
Okay. So all of the benefits from traditional embroidery with special design effects.
Yes.
And then closer from a graphical point of view to digital print.
Exactly.
How close to digital printing can I get from a graphical point of view?
It's a little bit hard to explain. But
I can imagine.
I'll show you one of our embroideries.
Okay.
If we look at this, for example, it shows really well what we can do with a lot of different colors and different gradients and shades, with also a really the smooth back.
Whoa.
Which is just an fainted picture from the front, I would say.
Mm.
So it's really good.
So as an embroidery producer, it must also be interesting to understand how this compares to traditional embroidery. Can you elaborate on that a little bit, Mats?
I would say the biggest advantage actually with the Coloreel technology would be that you always have the right color in stock.
Mm.
If you would like to do test embroideries for certain customers, or if you have certain demands that would only let you use a little bit of the thread that you orders, we, with our technology, can provide that instantly. So if you have a customer that comes in, you can instantly give them a test of a color, for example. So I would say that's one of the biggest advantages with our technology.
Okay.
If you look at this from a sustainability perspective, I would say that the Coloreel technique help us with both saving money and the environment, because we reduce the thread waste.
Okay.
So it really helps.
Okay.
And then we have the production pace. With our technology, it goes much smoother, much faster to do an embroidery.
Okay.
And you don't have to change threads during the embroidery. That's also minimize the setup time you have for each embroidery.
Okay. So to summarize a little bit, you talk about 3 aspects for me as a embroidery producer. You talk about any color, anytime. You talk about the production efficiency or shorter cycle time.
Absolutely.
And then finally, you talk about the sustainability aspect as well.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
very good. Even I understood it. So
That's
thank you,
good.
thank
That's
you,
good.
Mats. So imagine I'm a embroidery producer or even a digital print manufacturer that like to look at integrating your technology into my existing production facility.
Yeah.
Then, so what do I have to consider? I mean, besides what you already have explained in terms of benefits, installation-wise and so forth, is it tricky to install or?
It's actually not that much to think about or to consider. It's the Coloreel unit is it's possible to mount over any embroidery machine on the market.
Okay.
So with whatever brand you use, we can mount the Coloreel unit over it. The only little thing to think about it's need to be 2.65 meters in height, so we actually fit the unit above the embroidery machine.
Okay. And is it always standing on a stand like here, or can you have it like roof mounted as well, or how does that work?
We have this stand, but we can do special solutions with, for example, mounted in the roof instead.
Okay.
Or if we, for example, this displays a single head unit, but we can also have a multi-head unit.
Okay.
And then we can use a much bigger stand to put the Coloreel unit over the embroidery machine.
To put all of the multi-head Coloreel units on top of the
exactly.
Of the heads.
Okay,
exactly. Interesting. And in terms of duration, then, I mean, is it a simple installation, or does it take several days, or?
I would say it's about 1 day to get if we talk about single head.
Okay.
To get it installed and to train the customer and to do the test drives that is needed when you do the installation.
Okay.
So about a day's work.
Okay, so a full day with installation and so forth. And then following installation, imagine I have a four-header solution installed from you then. So what type of service and support can I expect in case I have some type of breakdown or I need some type of support in any case?
We have actually a reach globally, so we can met every corner of the world.
Okay.
We have our own distributors in some countries, and you can find them on the homepage. But we also have a collaboration with Rico that give us a service organization that actually reach every corner of the world. So that's really great.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Are there any other benefits? I mean, you've been talking about a lot of the technology here and explaining it as well to the audience. But if you try to summarize any other benefits that you like to highlight to the audience as such, or?
I really need to highlight the fact of a really high quality embroidery. That's not possible, and it's not possible to do the effects that we can do with the traditional embroidery. You need a Coloreel technology to do that. And it's like I mentioned before, it's really much like a DTG printing, but it's much more sustainability. So that can't be beaten either. And I think that's important to understand and to know. And not at least, you have always the right color at home when you need it.
Okay, Matt. So if I'm interested in purchasing technology from you and installing in my production environment, how do I go about? Who do I contact?
You can, first of all, you can always contact me or Coloreel, and we will guide you and try to answer the questions you have. But you can always look at our homepage and take a look at our distributor network there. You can contact them directly, or you can contact us again, and we can help you contact them, or they can contact you. So that's the easiest way to go forward.
Okay. Any last message you'd like to send to the audience today?
I would say become a part of the future and become a part of Coloreel.
So thank you very much for listening in today to Mats and myself here. Thank you.